Setting up.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Live, right? Okay, cool. So I'm going to be the facilitator for this first one. Kenny, you're going to be the rejector, the help rejecting complainer, and then Michelle, you said you would be the composed participant, right? Okay. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Laura White, and I'm going to be the facilitator for this diabetes group. So first, just to start off, I want everybody to feel safe. This is a safe environment, and we should be able to express ourselves freely, and there's no judgments here. So make sure that you're being respectful of everyone's thoughts and opinions and experiences. So the goal of this meeting is we're just going to talk about, what brought us here today and what our goal is for coming to this group, this support group, and then maybe make a goal for this coming week. So we're gonna start with an icebreaker, and I want you to introduce yourselves, your name, where you're from, maybe your favorite color, and then something that makes you unique.
Okay. Hi, I'm Michelle Burnham.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. So I'm from Temecula, California, and my favorite color is pink. Something that makes me unique.
Yeah.
Gosh, I feel like I'm not super unique, but I taught Zumba classes for a couple years, which I feel like is kind of unique.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Do you like to work out a lot then?
Yeah. Well, I did. I'm a little slower now. I'm not teaching right now, so when I can get there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, next person.
So my name is Kenny, and my favorite color is purple. Something unique about me, at least in this group, I'm from Guatemala.
You're from Guatemala?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. I had a teacher that was from Guatemala, a Spanish teacher. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to go there. And then you're from Guatemala, you said. And that makes you unique too. Okay, cool. I guess I should have started with myself. So yeah, I'm Laura, like I said, and I'm from California also, Glendale. And my favorite color is orange. And something that makes me unique is that I just had ACL surgery about a month ago. So I guess that's unique. Huh?
What is that?
So it's like in your knee. There's a ligament in your knee. I tore it. Yeah. So you have to have them repair it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun recovery. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. It's really great getting to know you guys. So to start, another question, maybe we can go around, is just kind of share experience with what kind of drove you all to come here today, and then what are you expecting from this group, support group? Are you wanting to change or just find acceptance and a love for yourself? That type of thing, if we could go around and express that.
I would like to just learn different perspectives and definitely gain a love for myself would be great.
Great. Okay. So perspective and yourself. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Kenny?
I just came because the doctor told me to.
Because the doctor told me to. Well, good. That's good that you're at least, you're listening to that and you're willing to come. That's, a good step towards that. Thank you, Kenny. So then, if I'm understanding right, most you guys are kind of just wanting to come to change, or not to change, sorry, but to find acceptance and peace, maybe with your illness, with diabetes. How long have each of you had diabetes for?
For about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't making the best eating choices, and it left me in a rough spot. So yeah, I would say about 5 years.
Oh, great. Okay. Thank you. What about you, Kenny?
I just got diagnosed like a
You
month
just,
ago.
that must have been a little tough, just finding out about that recently.
Yeah, it's a big change.
Yeah, what was that experience like, Kenny? How do you feel about it,
Um, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
sucks.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing. I know it's tough sometimes coming to terms with those things and understanding your illness. But hopefully, throughout these group meetings, we can help that and fix it. So, right now, what would you guys say is your biggest obstacle to overcoming these goals that you have? What is maybe what has in the past or is now preventing you from, coming to terms or deciding to make changes in your lives and those things?
So I would say my biggest problem is that I really love sugar, and I like to have donuts every morning. That's kind of in my routine, or was in my routine, and I don't like to have to substitute those with anything, and I have a hard time finding things that I like to eat that aren't sugary.
Yeah, that's very valid. It's hard, changing your habits and things. It's really hard to do that for anybody. Great. What about you, Kenny?
To be honest, I don't know. But yeah, I like to eat sugar too, but I'm like most of it is because of candies. But I have never had a problem in my family. I'm the first one, I guess, that has diabetes, so I
Yeah. Good. So same kind of thing as just eating, and or liking those certain things. It's hard to change those. Great. So you're the first one to be diagnosed in your family, Kenny?
Yeah.
Great. Good. Well, I hope that we can help you and be a support group and a family for you that understands for that. Okay. So you guys just talked about what your challenges or obstacles are in, in these things, in your diagnosis with it, or how you can make changes or, progress. So now what if maybe we can think about some goals that we can have this week. So thinking of a goal towards greater acceptance, like maybe saying, even though you're suffering from diabetes, that you're thankful for other things in your life. So maybe it can be something like that. Or, prayer if you're religious. Or if you want to change, if you are looking to take those bad habits out to improve your illness and, all that, then maybe make a goal towards change. Something you can do this week, like maybe for you, Michelle, you can, instead of having a donut every day for breakfast or eating the sugary things every day, you can do that, 3 days a week or something like that. You can switch it up and try to at least start making changes in your breakfast. So what do you guys think? What would be some things that you could change, or one goal to do this week and that will follow next week?
I had also heard that if you exercise, it's good for diabetes. So, we lost volume. Sorry, can you hear me real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it cut out a little. I had heard that exercise was a good thing for diabetes. So I want to make a goal to walk around my neighborhood. I would say twice a week this week, in addition to changing my donut eating habits a few times a week too, like you said. Thank you. That was a great suggestion.
Yeah, great. I'm glad you liked it. Great. Thank you, Michelle. Well, I think that's great. Exercise is good. And of course, yeah, there's lots of different things we can plan. So I like your goal. It's very achievable and, it's very doable. And you can report back on that next week. We'd love to hear how you do. What about you, Kenny?
I guess I can have less soda.
Good, less soda. Great. So your goal this week will be to drink less soda?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Well, next week, we'd also love to hear back from you about that. Okay, and how you did. And just remember that these goals are just, to help us change. And sometimes change can take a long time to change habits. And so that, there's no failure. We're just all growing together. So our meetings, we're going to end this meeting soon, but I just want to thank you, Kenny and Michelle, for coming today and for being open, even if you didn't want to be here, but being open to these new ideas and changes. And I know that, you'll be able to hopefully find inspiration and support in this group with your trials. To end, I wanted to share a quote from some random person, but it says, "Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take a step." So by coming here today, you guys have started to, take one step, a step in the right direction to coming to terms with your illness, with diabetes, and to making just small changes in your life. And just these small little changes that we'll work together every week, and the support that we'll receive from each other will help us go into the right direction to improve our health. And so I'm excited to see our journey together. So thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if that was 15, but almost.
11 minutes. You're close. I think you're good.
Okay.
Okay, so let me stop. I should have done a hand signal for timing on that or something.
No.
I thought of it after we already started, so I started timing it after. Okay. Okay, so do you want me to start? Should I go next?
Yeah. What do we each want to be?
So I'll be the facilitator.
Yeah. Okay. With the monopolist, does that mean I'm just dominating the conversation? I keep on.
Something like that.
I think so. I was wondering about that also.
No, that's confusing. I'll try to be that one.
Okay. I'll be the one that was very supporting.
Supporting? Okay. Okay. I'm a little scared of the monopolist. All right.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
And I'm kidding. Okay. Let me pull up my Google Doc real quick. Sorry. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Burnham, and I have several close family members who've been living with diabetes now 4 years, and I'm glad to see that all of you guys came today. Before we get started, I just wanted to review a few ground rules just to make sure our group runs smoothly. The first is that everything discussed here in this group should be confidential. So we don't want to share anything kind of outside of here that could be private to somebody. We want this to be a safe place for everyone. And the second is that this group is an open support group, which means that anyone can join at any time. So next week we could have some new people joining us, and the same rules will kind of apply to them. If you have any friends or family members who have diabetes, or you feel like maybe they could benefit from this group, they are also more than welcome to join us. So moving forward, I'd like to start to get to know everyone better. So if you guys could just introduce yourself by telling us your name and one of your favorite foods, that would be perfect.
That's hard to choose on food.
It is hard.
My name is Kenny, and my favorite type of food is Italian. You might guess that I can eat all day pizza with topping and cakes. I love cakes.
Oh yeah, me too. For sure. I think Italian might be one of my favorites too.
Cool. My name is Laura, and I just love all types of food. I think maybe one of my favorites would be Indian food. I love curry and the rice, but I also love like Thai curry and all of those things with rice and curries. And I also love just some good comfort food like a PB&J and you know, soup, homemade chicken noodle soup. And then desserts. I love all types of desserts. I love chocolate. Chocolate is one of my favorite things ever. Everything with chocolate, you know, anything with chocolate. And I love, you know, peanut butter on everything. Peanut butter and chocolate together is delicious. Yeah, what else? Let's see. I love just cake and candy and all those types of things.
So you love
some of my favorites right there.
You love a good sugary food.
Yeah,
that's good. Those
yeah.
sugary foods are definitely tempting.
Yes, so delicious. I just can't get enough of them. You know, I love them.
I understand. So I like something kind of unique. I love to eat burned foods. I love like burned bacon and burned Pop-Tarts, and probably sounds really weird. And but I also love a good sugary like French toast, or I'm a really sugary cereal person. I love sugary cereals. So
sometimes I really like burnt toast too, with like peanut butter on it. And
yeah, so good.
Marshmallow bonfire is amazing.
So good.
Burnt makes me so much better.
Probably so weird. Okay, so I wanted to kind of start with an icebreaker activity that has a little bit to do with what we'll be talking about today, diabetes. So we're going to do what's called a word storm. And what that means is I'm going to put a word up, and then we're going to list people's ideas around this word. And we're looking to kind of fill up the whole page. So just whatever comes to mind, you know, we probably won't be having conversation during this time, and just don't judge anybody else's ideas. This is a safe place. You can say whatever comes to mind. And yeah, so let me put up the word really quick. Okay, so the word is trials. So if you can just think of any kind of word that comes to mind, I'll just write that down really quick.
Difficult.
And I might just turn that around while I write real quick. Okay, difficult. What was that?
Hard to do.
Hard to do.
Sad.
Okay.
Disappointing.
What was that?
Disappointed.
Disappointment.
Life.
Life. That's great.
Growth.
Okay. Maybe like 4 more.
Oh, money.
How about like heartbreaking?
Or like, I think Kenny was saying they cost money.
Money. Yes, that's a great one.
And trials. Maybe support.
Support. Okay.
And friends or something.
Okay. I'm gonna add health because I feel like health can be a trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some great words here. If you guys can see that. So I like that you brought up money. Why did you say money? I felt like that was really interesting.
Why?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to spend money to come out of that trial. Like for us, it's being like diabetes, you have to change all your food supplies, you know. Like at least in my house, I'm the only one with diabetes. And pretty much my kids and my husband don't like the food without sugar or without fat. So I had to buy food for them and food for me.
That's great. I totally agree with that. And that word really stuck out to me that you said that. I think that was a really good contribution. Also, I noticed that somebody said support.
Yeah, I thought support, because, whenever you're having trials, even if it's money or things and all that, which, like especially health trials, you need a lot of money sometimes to get over them to buy healthier food and things like Kenny was saying. I agree with him. But, support also, and, trials are hard, and sometimes, I get really sad when I have these trials, and, sometimes I want to be alone, but whenever I get help or people help me and I turn to them for support, I usually feel better, and it makes, the trials seem lesser, and they can help me with some things that I didn't know. So, support is important for trials.
Yes, that's great. I think that support is definitely crucial in any trial and with diabetes. So just to jump right in here to our group meeting, I wanted to bring up just a couple kind of facts and get your guys' thoughts and opinions and see what you felt about them. So the World Health Organization, which is also called WHO, said that diabetes is one of the leading causes of death in the world, and about 422 million people worldwide have diabetes. I just wanted to bring that up because I wanted to address the fact that this is such a worldwide problem, and there are so many people that suffer from diabetes. And while it is treatable, and I don't want anyone to feel scared, I did want to bring up that you're not alone, and that there are so many people suffering. So I wanted to kind of get your thoughts. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, for me, it makes me feel, a little better, because sometimes I don't know very many people around me that have diabetes, and so it makes me feel really different. And
be isolated.
Yeah, isolated. And, and so I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to hide it, but I also do kind of. And so that makes me feel like, I am not alone. And so maybe there are people that have it too, and I just don't know. And I could talk to them about it. And, just like this, we can support each other and learn from each other and things. So it's kind of crazy how many people have it.
Right.
Like for me, like Laura said, it is kind of hard. Sometimes you just want to hide it because it's difficult, especially when you pull out a needle and show and the people look at you like, what the heck are you doing? Like,
right.
I always had to go and hide where I had to do my I forgot the name of the insulin. When I have to implement the insulin on me, especially when I go to parties with my family or my friends. So so that's why I kind of like that support group, because I feel like I'm not alone.
So you feel like you have to almost hide if you're in public because of the needles and okay.
I have that same problem. Just last week, I was at my son's soccer game, and I was so embarrassed that I had to do it out there, and I felt like everyone was staring at me, and then I'd have to explain it to them, but sometimes I don't want to, and it's all really awkward,
Really hard. Do either of you feel like there's anything that would make you more comfortable in that situation?
I think if people will kind of understand that not just only the addict people that use drugs have to use a needle. Because sometimes I feel like they judge me like that, and they don't, because they see me that I'm doing great, and I don't look at myself like sick. I feel like they look at me like if I'm doing some kind of drugs instead of doing my insulin.
So I think a big part of this problem would really be education and trying to really touch more people and explain that a lot of people do have this disease and they do need to use they need insulin to help them. And I think maybe the more people we can educate about it, even if we just start with like our family members around us or friends, or maybe you have a mom or a friend on the soccer team that you're closer to, that you would feel comfortable sharing your circumstances with, and that can start, like a seed there, and she can share, oh yeah, you know what, she has diabetes, and maybe that would kind of, the more we educate people, the more accepting people can be. I'm hoping. One more fact that I wanted to go over is that the number of people with diabetes has nearly quadrupled since 1980. Prevalence is increasing worldwide, particularly in low and middle income countries. The causes are complex, but the rise is due to part to increases in the number of people who are overweight, including an increase in obesity and in a widespread lack of physical activity. So my first question about that statement for you guys would be, how do you guys feel that people in low income areas are suffering more from this?
So I have type 1 diabetes, which is the one that you need insulin. So there's also type 2 diabetes. That is the one where you produce insulin, but your body doesn't use it right. So I think the ones that you like, the one that I have, it's because of genetics. But type 2 diabetes is the one that is because of choices. And about what I did, I researched about it. And it seems about most of the time it's because of how we live, our lifestyle, because that. So by eating a lot of sugar or by not having an active life. So I think that's why most of the time the low income they develop diabetes because it is cheaper, like fast food.
Yes, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I completely agree with that. Any more thoughts on low income?
I agree with what Kenny said. I think it just shows how, sometimes our country is and how the areas in which poor people live, there's often more fast food restaurants and things that they have access to, and it's cheaper. And, usually healthier food is, it's more time consuming and it's cheaper. More expensive. And so it's hard for people who are busy and working. And so.
Okay, great. I think you guys really nailed that. And just kind of to, wrap things up with those questions, I feel like, it is a big problem because sometimes it can be expensive to eat healthy. And I really like the points that you guys brought up. But in summary, we just talked a little bit today about the prevalence of diabetes and how big of a problem it is. And I'm really glad that you all came today, and I think we got into some really interesting subjects. And I would like to thank you guys for coming. And I hope to see you all again next time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, so 15 minutes. All right. Okay, last one. Who do we all want to be?
I can be the rejecting complainer.
Rejecting complainer? Okay. I'll be, I don't think we've done the silent one yet, so I guess I could be the silent one. I kind of feel like that's like.
That's the one, yeah. That's the one that we find them.
Okay.
There's only 2 people.
I know, it's hard. I know, that's why I'm thinking like, well, you know what? Why don't I just do the Monopolist then? Because then I feel like, just because we don't have a big group. Okay. All right, so whenever you're ready.
All right, so ready now. So.
All right.
Hello, my name is Kenny. And first of all, I want to thank you all for coming to this support group. And since this is our second meeting, we're just gonna do a little break the ice, just to remind our names. And so to start, I would like to say my name and my favorite movie. So my name is Kenny, and my favorite movie is The Lion King.
So my name's Michelle, and my favorite movie is Jurassic Park.
My name's Laura, and my favorite movie would probably be Lord of the Rings or something like that.
I like that one too. So I have a good quote that says, "I have diabetes, but diabetes does not have me." So reading that quote, what do you guys think about it? Like, I may have diabetes, but diabetes does not have me.
Yeah, I think that quote is very powerful, and it speaks a lot about, because I think sometimes we let diseases define us, and it's important to acknowledge that we have these problems and that we can have health issues, but that doesn't make us who we are or who we can become.
Yeah, I think it's good, but I feel like it's not super true because I feel like that's what people still see me as, just that I'm someone that has diabetes. And so, although it would be nice if it were that way, I don't know if it really, to other people at least.
Yes, thank you. So something that I like about this quote is that it says like diabetes, we can't control it. It's not something that you will say like I don't have the control, choose to control it. Saying like we can change our life activity, and we can also have more good choices for food, so we can overcome diabetes. So saying this, I would like to ask you guys, what is your biggest challenge for you to control your diabetes?
I think my biggest challenge is definitely finances. I like to be very careful with my money and how it's spent and budgeted, and that includes when I'm going grocery shopping or going out to dinner. I like to manage my money well and get the most out of it. So if something is more expensive because it's healthy, I don't always choose that. I'll usually choose the value item, like McDonald's. The hamburgers are only $1, so I think that that's a better financial choice than the salad, which is $7. That's my biggest challenge.
Finding food that can go to your budget.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Laura?
So what are my challenges? I think it's a lot of things. I think like people, I don't like being judged. So, I don't always make the best choices for it because I don't want people to like judge me or things, either way for good choices or bad choices. And I don't like feeling restricted. Like I don't like feeling like I have all these rules that I have to do because, my body can't do something. And so, I don't like thinking that I can't eat this and I can't do this and I should be doing these things because it just makes me feel like, I'm being forced, and I like to be able to make my own decisions.
Thank you for sharing that. I think one of the biggest problems out there is finding good food for us to eat. And so I came out with a list of websites for recipes that are like good for diabetic people, and and also you can find it cheap. So I will just post it here, and then you guys can copy them and see which ones are they, and there are like about three. Um, So now going on, what will you guys have a goal for next week to do? Like today, I'm gonna start. Like for me, I'm gonna start doing 30 minutes of exercise because that's what I find that is more difficult for me to at least have a little time for myself and do exercises.
I think for me, with I want to have an exercise goal, but I have a really hard time finding an exercise that I enjoy. I feel like it's all the places are very expensive to join the gym memberships, and I don't like to run because it's hard. So I think a good goal for me would to be finding a gym that is in my budget and a class that I enjoy taking. Maybe I'll try um, a group class like this, a group setting. I feel like is good to get support, and maybe if I can find some friends in those classes, they can help support me to get me to come and be more reliable. So I guess overall my goal would be to just find that class that I enjoy at a cost that I enjoy.
So maybe so about your guys' comments, and I heard what Laura said was like not being judged when she's like trying to choose what food to eat, and I don't want to do this because it is hard for us. So I think for next activity next week, what we can do is have like a little bring a little dish that you guys would like to share for everybody, and like that is healthy for us to eat. So in that, I if you can bring the recipe so we can all copy that. And also, like Michelle was saying, that she's trying to look for exercises. I will try to come for a little activity that we can all enjoy and have a little movement here in our class just before we either we can do it before we start our meeting or after, like 10 minutes at least or 15, so we can start looking for exercises that we can do at home, and then we don't have to go and pay for fees or something like that. So we can afford it. So let's have this in mind for next week. And I put these two websites. That is the one is eatingwell.com and the other one is verywellfit.com. Those two websites gives you really good recipes for people that are struggling with diabetes. And they also sometimes they try to put where they bought the ingredients and the prices, so you can choose where to go and find it cheaper. So in that way, it's kind of helping us to struggle with finances. So that's my biggest struggle too. Like I go outside and there's no choice for me to eat healthy. So these two websites and it would be very helpful.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to definitely look at those websites, and I'm excited to bring a dish to share. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm a little busy, but I think I'll be able to find time for it. We'll see.
And that's okay. You don't have to stress out if you don't find something. As long as you're here, I will be more than happy. Don't have to worry about it.
Thank you.
Okay. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week then.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
Good job.
Good job. Thank you. Okay. So we're done. Do you want me to stop the broadcast right there?
I think we were supposed to talk about.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We have to review, right?
Yeah, like what was hard and stuff.
Okay. I'll pull that up too.
Yeah, like what did you find challenging and what did you learn about facilitating a support group?
Okay. Sorry, I'm just re-signing in. It kicked me out. Does your computer seem to go slower when you're like on Hangouts? I don't know why mine does that.
Makes sense. It's using a lot to do.
Lesson 6. Okay.
So the first question, what did everybody find challenging as the facilitator?
Like trying to hold it for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't love talking in front of people. So I guess for me, it would be like trying to focus on what I'm supposed to say and say it right and not laugh or get shy or get weird.
Yeah, like I think this is awkward, you know, doing in this situation, but you know, so like that's a little hard. But in a real life situation, I do think it's hard to like really get people to open up and to connect to each other, you know,
Right.
and to not like also to not feel judged, and also like as a facilitator, maybe to not seem like judgmental or you know high-and-mighty or something, you know, but really just being at the same level and helping people to feel comfortable. I feel like I don't know, it can be hard, you know.
Yeah, in a real life situation, I could see how people would be like hesitant to open up too, because that's like you don't know people, you don't know anyone in your group, and I don't know. It's hard to sometimes share health problems. You know, people can be really private about it.
Personal.
Like also, I think something that is very challenging is like when you already have your topics to talk, you know, and you have a special at least for not for me, but because I wanted you to guys talk more. But I could like talk less. But at least like sometimes I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, I need to shut because maybe she wants to say something else.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So that was like I don't know, should I just tell her like, okay, so let me just now talk, you know?
Right. Or like, am I talking too much about myself or something like that? Yeah.
Especially online, it's sometimes harder to tell those things, you know.
Yeah.
Cues for that.
What's the last? There was another question, right? What did you learn in this activity about facilitating a support group? I mean, I think in some ways it's easier than I thought it would be. I mean, I guess I was sort of under the impression that you had to be like super knowledgeable about the subject. So like when it said diabetes, I was like, really could have probably done better with anything else because I know a lot about most. I mean, not all diseases and stuff, but I know, you know, I've studied a lot of health things, as I'm sure you guys have too. But diabetes is like not one I'm super familiar with. I know kind of the basics. So it's kind of cool that you're able to host a support group that you don't necessarily have a ton of like in-depth knowledge about. I don't
know. Yeah, for sure. I think another thing is like being able to think like something really important is being able to think of good questions that will like inspire like, you know, a lot of thinking and conversation, and not just the same basic questions like, yeah, it's like da 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 da, you know, that everybody kind of knows the answers to, but things that really make people think and then learn something, you know, from each other, which can be hard, you know, to think of those questions.
Definitely.
Also, what I learned about it is listening. Sometimes you have the plan, like I said before, like sometimes you have the plan, but because of the answers that they give, you have to change it because you cannot. You have to follow up. You know, you cannot just skip. Like, oh, okay, we'll deal with your problem later. But sorry, but I have this one right now.
Right. So you have to think on the spot. That's hard.
Yeah. Like you guys were saying, like finances and judgment. I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't find anything.
Oh no. I was trying to think because I was like, well, if I'm a monopolist, then I really care about money, right? Or am I just totally wrong on that? I was like, I'm not 100% sure what a monopolist is, but I think I'm on the right track. So all I could think about was like, I care about money. I don't even know if that's right. I'm not a good actor. Like I guess that was my challenge with the activity was like, I'm not an actor. It's like my weakness. I'm not.
Me neither. It was kind of fun though. Almost.
No, you did good. You were a really good actor. I was like, well, maybe she has like acting classes or something.
Thank you.
I'm drowning here.
Yeah. That was good though, Kenny, how you had those websites available.
Yeah, that was really good.
What you said, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like those are good resources.
That was really smart. I liked that too. Okay. Okay. So was there for some reason it's not letting me change back screens. Was there anything else on there?
No, it was the only two questions.
Okay.
Those and talk about them for about 10 minutes, which I don't know how long, but I think it's probably good.
Oh, I forgot to set the timer.
About that.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, is there anything else you guys wanted to add in there, or do you want me to stop their broadcast?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. I'm off.
What?